thank you for being here in our MIT. In case somebody thinks that we are going to talk about Massachusetts Institute of Technology, it's not the case. MIT stands for Madrid Investor Talks. This is the third time we've organized an MIT in South Summit, Madrid. And just a few words before introducing our honored speakers about Invest in Madrid. After, if we have time, we can explain you much more in detail what we do. Besides that, I have my team here. So in case after this talk you have any doubts, feel free to ask us. Basically, Invest in Madrid is the investment promotion agency of the Madrid region. So anything you might need, in case you're thinking to establish your company in Spain, we think we're more than ready to help you with all the facts and figures that we think an investor needs when they have to take the decision. Okay, so the good thing we think we have many good things. One of them is being a public entity. The services that we can provide are free of charge. And as I told you, this is the third time we are doing an MIT in South Summit, Madrid, but it's the first time that the speakers that are here with me, they are clients, foreign company, that have worked with us and they have taken the decision to establish in Madrid. So the big ones are the speakers, not us. So just to say thank you to the speakers, Inma from Fastnet, she is the company is from the Netherlands, so dankjewel for here with us.
Thank you.
Rebecca from HashiCorp USA, thank you. We also have Rose Capital, Andrea from Italy, grazie. And finally, last but not least, Felipe from Brazil, obrigado. So I think the best thing to do is, if you feel, you can feel free to start introducing yourself, who you are and the company you're working for. So Felipe, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thank you, Diego. And thank you. I'd like to thank Invest in Madrid for this opportunity. It's amazing. It's the fifth time I've been to South Summit, considering Brazil and Madrid. And I'm a Chief Experience Officer in For All. I came from graphic design, then I worked towards my position nowadays by creating experiences. For All is a technology company from Brazil, and we work with several verticals of the daily journey for customer experiences.
Thank you. Okay, Ima?
Well, thank you, Diego, and Invest in Madrid for inviting me and Fastnet to these investor talks. My name is Inma Cima, and I am Fastnet's country manager here in Spain, and I'm the leader of, the entry of Fastnet into the Spanish market. So I'm industrial engineer with an executive MBA, and in my previous roles, I've been working as a network developer and also helping other countries in their entry into the Spanish market. 1 year ago, more or less, I joined Fastnet. I have to say that it's a great company and also it's a great sector. So Fastnet is a Dutch company. It was founded 12 years ago, and we build fast charging stations for electric cars. So thank you.
Thank you, Ima. Andrea, please.
I'm Andrea Casati, and I'm Vice President at Grow Capital. Grow Capital is an investment bank focused on venture capital and tech. We basically do two things. On one side, we help founders of tech scale-ups in raising capital or going through an M&A process. And on the other one, we help investment funds or corporations in their scouting, due diligence, and disinvestment activities. We have an office in Milan. I'm from Milan. We have an office in London, a presence in Germany and France. And since 1 year, we are very happy to say that we have our office here in Madrid. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Andrea. Rebecca.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, and thank you, Diego, for inviting us to share our success story. My name is Rebecca, and I am the Managing Director of the Global Hub at HashiCorp, and we are a multinational public American company, and our business is we are a multi-cloud software company. And previously, I was leading, a lot of global HR projects, and right now I am more on the focus in the tech side and developing global hubs. This is my third success global hub, and we just opened our office in Madrid in April, and we are really happy to be here and to have the presence in Madrid.
Thank you, Rebecca. Well, as a first general question to all of you, 2023 Durum Spain Ecosystem Report stated that right now Madrid is the main hub for startups in the Spanish market. Why, Felipe, do you think this is the reason?
Well, I have to begin about telling about how I think Madrid has its focus on innovation, Diego. It's like everything, the entire atmosphere here in Madrid is an atmosphere for creativity, exploration. And I feel like every single people from Madrid, they all have these warm, welcoming, they create these environments so we can feel like we can thrive in anything we want to build. And of course, that's not only the welcoming atmosphere, but also the talents. There are so many people capable of doing whatever they are up to, they decide to, and help us build anything we are set to build. Of course, there's like the government policies and support, like Invest in Madrid. Like when we first met, we were in Brazil, and I thought of course, me and my CEO, we were talking about expanding our operations. And when we talked to Diego and people from Invest in Madrid, we saw that we not only would have like these environments and these expansion opportunities, but we will have support. So I think that helps a little bit. Of course, the cañas, the tapas, the whole environment, it's quite welcoming on it.
Thank you, Felipe. Well, just in case if somebody wants to ask us any question after that, that's what Felipe did at Porto Alegre, and he's here, so be careful. We'll be more than happy. Okay, Ima, the same thing. Why Madrid? What do you think Madrid, according to Durum Co, is the main place for startups?
Well, I think it's important to point out that the fact that Madrid has been the hub of startups investment in 2023. And this is because of the good collaboration between the private sector and the regional government. So there's like a national startup law, but if the regions don't implement it, it's not worth. So I think that, as Felipe was saying, Madrid has all this environment to make business, to create and develop startups, and it's a great place also to live.
Okay.
Fastnet is not a startup anymore, so we are a listed company, but we are operating in a real young sector. So the e-mobility is a young sector, and we also need this environment of flexibility, innovation, agility. So for us, it's also really important that, being here in Madrid. And also, we met you 1 year ago when we entered to the Spanish market. And Invest in Madrid also helped us to put us in contact with the different authorities, municipalities, and all these stake decisions that are important for our business.
Okay, thank you. Andrea, you just mentioned when you introduced your company, you're in Milan-based, London. Why Madrid, another option?
I think one of the main factors is the possibility and the ease to start a business here. And I'll share some points from our personal experience, since launching a new country is basically pretty similar to launching a new startup. First point, we receive a great amount of support from the city institutions, especially Invest in Madrid, both before launching the country to connect with the ecosystem and understanding the market. And then when we actually came, they support us in the opening activities. I have to say that Diego and his team, they were pretty pushy in a positive way to give support and make sure we had everything we need to strive into the region. And this allows like a foreign company to have really a soft landing into a new market. Second, Madrid is a city that has the ability to attract talents, which is pretty important. We are an investment bank. We are a business of people, and we're lucky and very happy of the 5 people we bring on board here. Now we are We have 8 people dedicated to the Spanish market. And third one is, might sound minor, but Madrid is a very well-connected city, which if we want to connect, both internally, if we want to connect to other ecosystem, it's very easy to do so. And especially internationally, we have offices in different locations. We are specialized in cross-border deals, so it's pretty important. And one last note on the business side. The majority of investors, institutional investors, they are here, or they have a team here. The corporate, they have their innovation office here, that together with already startup here and support from the institutions, it makes Madrid a great melting pot and a great place to be.
Thank you, Andrea. Rebecca, when you introduced yourself, you told us, you shared with us that this is your third success case in Madrid. Why so many cases and why so successful?
I feel like, as Diego mentioned, this is my third hub. I already opened the hub with Celonis and with OneTrust and now with Hashi. And I feel like the strategic decision to open our tech hub here in Madrid is based on the diversity of the local and national talent and also the ability that Madrid has to attract international talent. Madrid's investment in technology, innovation, education, infrastructure, and as well, as Felipe mentioned, this is lifestyle, culture, the climate, very important also. This makes Madrid an irresistible city for the talent. All of this make Madrid a very privileged and strategic location that is going to allow HashiCorp to provide global support from our tech hub. Our commitment to the hub at Madrid is solid. It's a pledge to innovation, collaboration, and the future. And our investment is substantial based on the great potential of the city. Madrid has key organizations that help companies to land and also supporting to us to drive our mission. There are key organizations like Invest Madrid. I want to take only 3 seconds.
Thank you so much to Diego, Ana, Aurora, Luis, Ignacio. Thank you so much that they helped to us and support to us from day one to see the potential of Madrid. There are like business schools like the Instituto de Empresa that give the companies the possibility to not only bring good talent, also help to us to develop very innovations, projects that is going to be helping and marking the story of the technology. Of course, a lot of universities only give us an example like the Polytechnic or the Carlos III, where you really can find very tech profiles that are very important for companies like HashiCorp. In April, we inaugurated our offices in Azca. We already hired the first employees, and right now we have different open roles across the business units. So if someone of you are looking for a job, is try to find a company that really believes in talent, in people, and in technology, HashiCorp is your company.
I will ask for a location for our stations also.
Yes, of course. For sure. Okay. Felipe, now talking more about precise your company, you have an extensive experience in UX design across various industries. How do you apply or transform this to the Spanish market?
Yeah, that's actually it's common sense that when you are arriving in a new country and well, in another culture, it's going to be really hard and you have to, it's completely different, right? But it doesn't have to be faced differently, actually. In UX design, customer experience design, human design, we are actually used to do that. It's like almost looking at a challenge with the eyes of an investigator. Like whenever we are trying to understand, for example, another generation or conflict of generations, they are conflicts of culture as well. Economics, behavior, or even, I don't know, demographics. It's always, there's never a single unit, a single profile. So we have to prepare, we have to understand, of course, as mentioned before, we have to live this culture, we have to eat a cocido and all of that, because it's really good, but also because it helps you empathize. So whenever we are landing in another culture, another, I don't know, initiative project, we have to begin from scratch, but with the eyes of someone that's actually interested in discovering that. That's also one of our main activities to discover how to do something, how to enter another culture, another industry, and something like that. And like using design thinking methods in interview and multidisciplinary teams, all of that is what we do in our routine, our day-to-day basis. So for a company, and if I would have to make suggestion or something like that, for a company trying to thrive, to succeed in another culture, in another nation, that's the first thing. You have to become that. You have to understand that through, of course, empathy, through trying, through talking to people. So we use the same methods, but we adapt to the challenge we have ahead.
Okay, Felipe, thank you. Ima, you have already explained us why Madrid, why you choose Madrid to be the center of your operations in Spain, and also feel free to tell us what Fastnet is doing right now.
Well, let me go further with Madrid, because there are 3 reasons why we've been established our office here. The first one is because Madrid is the capital of Spain, and here we can find the main hub of authorities and also the parliament. So our industry, the e-mobility industry, is a high regulated industry, and we have to work close with them and to share with them our experience of the last 12 years across Europe, and, well, try to learn from the best practices. Second, also Andrea said it before, Madrid, in terms of geography, is in the center of Spain. So it's really easy, to connect to other regions, and that makes our life easier. Also, our office is in Zurbano. We look for bars and restaurants because it's about working, but also about building the team. And the third reason is because of our industry. So if we compare the different regions in Spain, so we look for locations with high traffic, so we can provide this fast charging infrastructure. And if we look at Madrid, Madrid is the largest region in Spain in terms of number of cars. It has more than 5 million cars. And it's also the largest region in Spain in terms of EV penetration of electric cars. So 2.6% of the cars in Madrid are electric. The average in Spain is a 0.6. So it makes also for us that it makes sense to be based here and take it as a priority in Spain.
Thank you very much. I remember when I started talking with him, one of the figures, as I told you, we offer you facts and figures. Just keep in mind that 45% of electric cars sold in Spain are sold in Madrid. Okay, so again, we are going to give you figures that will help you choose Madrid, let's hope. Andrea, what do you think about the Spanish venture capital market, and again, why Madrid?
Yeah, so within the European venture capital landscape, the Spanish ecosystem has some elements which make it particularly appealing. So what we see is that in Spain there is an ecosystem of early stage investor that is pretty developed and well diversified. I'll give you a number. 70% of the round that were finalized in 2023 can be classified as pre-seed, seed, or Series A round. There is already a presence of international investors, which is pretty important, that they have office or a dedicated team here. And again, 40% of the round of last year, we saw like a participation of at least one foreign investor. We mentioned this several times. Spain has talents. They have especially tech talents, which is pretty important for the ecosystem. And we see that the government has started to support the ecosystem, and there is some room for improvement to do something more and get nearer to what France did some year ago. So everything, all these elements make the ecosystem pretty vibrant and with high potential. And within the ecosystem, we do see as an opportunity in the late stage and the exit market, which are less developed than other European countries. And there is room for improvement. And that's where Grow Capital comes in.
Thank you, Andrea. Rebecca, Andrea just has mentioned, I think, and please tell me if I'm right, one of the reasons why Madrid is basically talent. Okay, could you please explain some more about this as an asset, I guess, for a company like yours?
Yeah, I think like what I mentioned about the talent is like, like all of the time when investors are thinking in why Madrid, is like, why Madrid? And it's like, this is like a deja vu. All of the time you need to explain. It's sometimes complex for people international to understand that there is no any issue for people to move to Madrid. And also they are questioning that here it's possible that the companies, they are not going to find languages skills, very technical skills, very specific skills. The thing is like, sometimes it's right. There is no the people in the city. However, based on the different reasons that I mentioned before, for the companies, like tech companies that we really offer a good package at development plans, it's easy for us to move the talent to Madrid. Madrid as a city, they really attract the talent. And it's not only that, when you are thinking to move your life, you need to think also what is around you, and sometimes it's family. This can look like, yeah, this is something simple. No. You cannot find like the international schools, and this is something that attracted to the people also to come here, that this is mark a huge difference between Madrid and other regions. And this is also like the possibility, based on the business schools that we have here, the universities, and the attractiveness of the city, where if you don't have the talent here, it's very easy to move the talent from whatever part of the region around the world. And I have a lot of cases and success cases that I can share with you, like from Brazil to Asia, to North America, Europe, whatever country that you are asking to move to Madrid, if really the career path is attractive and they can see and also helping to them with the possibilities, and for them and to the family, they are coming.
Thank you, Rebecca.
This question is not part of the speech, but it's fun.
I told you I was going to surprise you. Well, as Rebecca mentioned, and again, giving you figures, if you ask us, well, we have in Madrid region 19 universities, both private and public, and if somebody wants to know how many engineers, any kind of engineers, finish their grades in the 19 Madrid universities, more than 3,500 every year, okay? So again, as I told you, figures will show you that Madrid is a great option. Felipe, bearing in mind how tech companies cultivate a strong customer-centric culture with their Spanish operation, ensuring a smooth transition and user adoption.
Oh, great. Actually, you begin by doing your research properly, like these guys did, looks like. You have to know your numbers, you have to understand the market, the economy you're landing in. But of course, it's important nowadays, actually the very theme of South Summit this year is human by design. And it's like a recognition that every project, initiative, and also every business have to bear in mind that's people in center of everything, right? So for that, you have to think human-centered. And it doesn't matter wherever you're going, if you're going to another country, if you're going to another market, another industry, you have to put people in the center, right? So, and how does my company do that? I actually recently wrote an article about it because it looks like everybody's realizing customer experience is like, okay, my company have to have that, have to understand and study that, and of course, practice that. But it's hard, right? It's hard to, okay, now I'm going to hire some UX designers and that's all. No, actually, it's more to it than that. One thing I realized studying, I'm a real enthusiast about this theme, this subject, is that you can't have a human-centered company, a customer-centered company, when you have like people making decisions and they don't understand this. They don't know how to do this. And why? Why? First of all, of course, if there's anyone that doesn't know yet, Yeah, in Forbes magazine, we saw that the 100 with better results companies, they are all human or customer-centered, right? So they have like 6 times more EBITDA and lots of data that will like show the results of being customer-centered. But what we fail to realize sometimes is that to be human-centered, to be culture-centered, you have to put this knowledge on the management, not only on the teams, not only on the plants. No, you have to be human-centered, people-centered everywhere, especially on management. And how do you do that? You have to first train management in design, UX design, in concerns and skills, but also by, of course, I'm talking about me here, promoting UX designers in your company, promoting people that work with creativity and all of that to management, of course, with training, with the right training. Because when people making decisions have this concern, it's thinking about, is this product really human-centered? It will help you, everybody with accessibility. It will help you, help the environment, because that's where people live. If you're not asking yourself and your peers those questions, you're not human-centered. Your company is not human-centered. And again, if you're landing in another industry or another market, another client or another nation, it doesn't matter. You have to think like that always. And I can assure you all, it will help not only growth, but also your company to be recognized like a human-centered company.
Thank you, Felipe. Inma, how is Fastnet planning to develop the electric vehicle market in Spain?
Well, here in Spain, as you may know, Spain is one of the countries behind Europe in terms of EV penetration. Although we are the largest country in Europe in terms of number of chargers. So we have more than 30,000 chargers installed in Spain, but just the 2% of them have more than 250 kilowatts. And what does it mean? So that, yes, I can charge my car, but it's going to take some time. And we don't want it. So we need a fast charging infrastructure on the motorways around big cities that just, so we can feel free, not driving our electric cars and not being pending on the range of the battery. So we are experts on it. From the first day, 12 years ago, we wanted to give freedom to our drivers, and we are always installing the fastest chargers that we find on the market. So now we are installing chargers of 400 kilowatts, and that means that you can charge your car in 15 minutes with around 300 kilometers. So for us, this is what is the next step here in Spain. We have many chargers, most of them in the big cities, but we need all this fast charging infrastructure. And not only the infrastructure is needed, because it's nice, but it has to work. So I don't know if any one of you is driving an electric car or not, but sometimes, no, you go, you want to charge, and it doesn't work. And the app also doesn't have any information, so it's a bit of, well, it's not a good experience. So in Fastnet, we are focused on the experience of our drivers, and we are really focused. So in these 12 years operating more than 300 fast charging stations, we learn every day from our consumers. So everything that just come up, we take it, learn from it, and implement it to the new stations. So if you don't know our stations, they are really nice with a yellow canopy. The canopy is important because when you are charging, so you don't want, and well, it protects you from the weather. Also, it allows us, you know, to put illumination, because I've been charging my car in a winter afternoon with no lights, and my sensation was really, well, horrible. So the experience of our consumer is really important. Also, all our stations are accessible, so we are not only thinking of the I don't want to say the normal people, but well, the more, no? The main people, but also disabled people that can go around the charger, take it, charge, and it's also easy for them. We've been awarded many, well, last year we got 3 awards regarding the best charging experience in Europe and also the best charging network. And well, and I think that focusing on your customer experience is the best you can do, because then no, they will come and come and come, and that's why we want to build this infrastructure.
Thank you, Ima. Andrea, what types of activities are you focusing on, and what kind of clients are you supporting here in Spain?
Yeah. On the fundraising activities, we are focused on startups and scale-ups which are at the Series A, B, and C stage. So companies that are actually raising anything between 5 and 50 million. This is because, especially in the Southern European ecosystem, after a certain size of round, you have to connect with investors which are outside your country. And depending on the industry, very often the company is approaching new market itself. So with presence in 5 countries in Europe, one of our value that we add to the client is connecting one scale-up or startup of one ecosystem to investor of another, and vice versa. To give you an example, last year we helped a 3D printing company which is called Caracol, which is Italian. We support them in raising 12 million from national and international investors, and we support them in going into their expansion process and opening an office in the United States. On the M&A side, we work on deals with a value of anything up to 150 million, so small, medium market, especially for clients that they want to do a cross-border transaction. So they're looking for a buyer which is outside their country. And to give you another example here, last year we sold a company which is called Kippi. It's a company that has developed a GPS for dogs and cats. And it's an Italian company that we sold to a Swiss group that was backed by Columna Capital, which is a private equity group. And lastly, we support startup and scale-ups themselves in doing M&A, what we call like a buy and build process. So they raise capital to buy other startups in the same sector and create like an aggregation process.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. Rebecca, you've mentioned, you have talked about talent, but I guess the people here listening to us, they would like to know more about what is HashiCorp and your plans here in Spain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, HashiCorp, we are a multinational public American company. We have presence in more than 20 countries with over 2,000 employees. Founded over a decade ago, and HashiCorp, we addresses the cloud journey adoption challenges through a multi-cloud software stack. On one hand, we have the infrastructure provisioning challenges, where we have a suite of products to address the infrastructure lifecycle management with products like Terraform and Packet. And on the other hand, we also need to secure the workload in the cloud, where we have another business line called Security Lifecycle Management with products like Vault and Boundary. All of you and all of us, we are using HashiCorp, but in reality, we don't know. Why we are saying that? Because like from the morning when you are buying a coffee, and also when you are making reservations online, where you are like taking taxi rides through an app, or also even when you are with your family playing a games, you are using HashiCorp.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. Felipe, being a Brazilian company, one of the assets that when we normally talk to a Latin American company about Madrid is the access to the European market. Can you confirm us or tell us your experience? We know you have decided to stay to open an office in Madrid, but I understand you plan to develop your business.
Yeah. No, yes. Well, actually, the thing is, we started working here because of in Forol, we have a history with Spain. The president of Forol, Jose Renato, is the CEO of South Summit Brazil. And because he have relationship with Spain ecosystem, because in 2014, he sold his first company to Santander. His company is called GetNet. I don't know if you guys know it. It's an acquirer. And it's like nowadays, well, in 2014, it was the first unicorn in Latin America because it was sold for $1.5 billion, so it was a lot. And then he decided, of course, to start again. He's a serial entrepreneur. And we had this relationship already, okay? So arriving here was not only a natural path to follow, but also we have, for example, we work nowadays, currently, as clients, we have CaixaBank. We have Atlético de Madrid. I don't know if there's any colchoneros here.
Yeah.
Yeah, why I'm looking at you, I don't know. Atlético de Madrid, and right now we started with Español de Barcelona. So it was like, okay, it's amazing. We are just following the path that was paved by our president, but it also has its challenges, of course, like everything. And okay, as UX designer, I'm prepared to do these studies and prepare our company to be customer-centered. But it also, we as a country manager, my responsibility here as the responsible of the operation is to create this partnership, to create these alliances, to start talking to everybody, and of course seeking help and support, like legal support. It's important to be prepared for intellectual property regulations, privacy laws, and all of that. So you have to have you have to be prepared to understand this kind of challenges. Mm-hmm. And of course, you have to count with people like Invest in Madrid, like other allies to do so.
Okay, thank you, Felipe. Ima, you just mentioned that Spain is, let's say, one of the markets in Europe that has more potential. But on the other side, you're a Dutch company, so please just confirm that the potential of the Spanish market is due that many developed countries like the Netherlands are already using electric vehicle superchargers. You also told us you are the first company that even trucks can come into this kind of facilities. So tell us a bit more how is right now Fastnet in the main countries like the Netherlands, Germany?
Well, so as I told you before, the e-mobility industry is highly regulated. So it depends on how each government approaches. So in the Netherlands, 12 years ago, the government just said, okay, the future is electric, and we have to build all this infrastructure. Mm-hmm. And 12 years ago, they tender out around 200 stations in the service areas. So the sector wasn't there. So now we are in a young sector, but 12 years ago, it didn't exist. Mm-hmm. And our founders, Michiel and Bart Lubers, they thought that the future was electric, and they submitted the proposals. We got many of these to 200 locations. That's why we have like around 170 stations in the Netherlands. That was our first country, and thanks that the government did it 12 years ago. Now the Netherlands has a penetration of the EV car of 5%. So as I told you before, in Spain we are 0.6, the Netherlands 5%, and other countries they have higher rates. So for us is investing, creating all this infrastructure to allow drivers to buy cars and drive free, and that's what we are trying to do.
Thank you, Ima. Andrea, let's say, looking ahead, how do you see, what opportunities and potential do you see in Madrid's startup ecosystem to continue evolving in the way we're doing?
Yeah. So I think the ecosystem has to, or the city has to keep attracting talents. They're doing a great job to give instruments to young entrepreneurs to start business, which is crucial for the life of the ecosystem itself. And this one is more general comments. One part of the ecosystem is the investors. So we have to keep working to make sure on one side national investors are incentivized to make and support startups, and to work with other countries to make sure that international investors are able to do transaction here in the country. One last thing, on a personal note, I used to live in California for quite some years, and one of the things that I liked more about the ecosystem in San Francisco and the Silicon Valley was, there is a lot of capital, talents, maybe, a mentality which might be a little bit different, but I really like the sharing. Within the ecosystem, there was like a great community of sharing their experience, networking, in order, so if people share, the whole ecosystem will be able to grow.
Okay, thank you. Rebecca, you mentioned at the beginning that talent was a main asset. You have already told us what is HashiCorp, and you also told us that you have signed or have a sort of agreement with the Instituto de Empresa. Could you tell us a little bit more why that need for searching for talent to what HashiCorp is doing?
Yeah, I feel like before to go specific more about why we signed this agreement with the Instituto de Empresa, I feel like Madrid is doing an amazing job to convince the investors and the CEOs on, when you are speaking with the executive team, like how easy it is to open the business in Madrid. But I think one opportunity that we have here in Madrid is like we really need to give more visibility to the international people, that the talent that you can find here and also the talent that you can bring here. That this is like one key thing that not all other cities or countries can do it. This is from one side. The other side is like we signed a strategic agreement with the Instituto de Empresa, not only for the amazing talent that they have here, also because it gives us to the possibility, as I mentioned to you, we have presence in 20 countries, and it's like the people, they are coming to Madrid and they are doing here the MBAs and the university degrees, but they are coming back to the original countries. This gives us the potential that from Madrid we also can fill roles across the world. This is from one side. The other side is right now we are working with the business school, with the tech school, with the foundation, where we are going to be developing very innovation projects that are going to mark the difference and really make a huge impact in the tech business. And also, we mentioned that Madrid is investment in innovation, and one of the things that marks the difference with the Instituto de Empresa is they are trying to find the gaps from the people really learning what happened in the school. We are not in the school. The business, we need really solutions from day one. And with this type of projects, what we are trying to see and develop and find the solution, and it's like, hey, with this project, we are going to reduce XX the cost, or we are going to improve the revenue. This is like the key projects that we have the focus with the eye, making sure that we really have an impact in the business.
Thank you, Rebecca. Felipe, as I asked Andrea, looking ahead, how do you think is the Spanish startup ecosystem is going to develop, bearing in mind that being a Brazilian company, Brazil is by far a leading country in innovation? How do you see, how can you compare the markets and the potential of the Spanish market?
Yes, well, they have like these, Spain and Brazil, they are totally different in lots of aspects, but in these, it's quite similar. It's like we have to understand the markets the same ways. And of course, we have to have these experiences and start by doing, partnerships. The close partnerships, they are like, if I would say a secret, it's not a secret at all, actually, but if I would say a secret, when you start building these partnerships, these alliances, it's quite easier to to understand to connect both cultures, both ways of doing. So that's of course working with people that nowadays we don't believe in competition. We believe in cooperation, or because it's cooperation and competition. And the most people, be it in Brazil, be it here, the most you talk to people, you work with people, you show your work and you learn from them, the better will be your experience in doing so. Okay. So this is where I would begin.
Okay. Thank you, Felipe. Well, we just have 5 minutes pending. As I told at the beginning, our MITs, this is the third time we do Madrid Investor Talks here in South Summit, Madrid. As I told you, we are the investment promotion agency of the Madrid region. So our goal is to help foreign companies that are thinking to develop their business in the Spanish market, to give them facts about why Madrid should be the best option. We've been talking about many issues. Talent is one of them. I guess any company wanting to establish and to develop any business in Europe, in the whole world, talent is the main asset. Just to tell you, today Madrid region is the second largest region in the European Union with more people working in ICT sector. We have more than 250,000 people working. Keep in mind that when we give you figures, we will always tell you the source of the figure. It's not me, it's not Aurora, Ignacio, or Pedro who will tell you. Another figure, according to a LinkedIn 2022 report, Madrid region is the second region in Europe, not in the European Union, that has more people, talent on the most developed market. That's a report issued by LinkedIn. So we really think, besides, as I told you, 19 universities, we've been talking about Instituto de Empresa, is one of the top 5 business schools in the world. So talent is there, infrastructure. Also, Ima has told us how is the Spanish market development. But it's true that infrastructure is an asset. Keep in mind today, if you want to go from any part of Spain to any other part of Spain, the best way to do is do it through Madrid. We are in the center of Spain. It's not our fault. Somebody decided that 500 years ago. But today, for any logistic, it's easier, it's cheaper, it's faster to do all your transportations through Madrid, and that's why we think, as an electric vehicle region, which we think will have a lot of room to develop. And finally, also related with talent, I guess that I hope many of the people listening to us are planning. If you are coming here, it's because you want to know more about Spain and Madrid. Talent is a concern, and we can also give you figures about the cost of the talent, okay? Everybody wants to have the best talent. We have here one French company that is helping us to develop the business in France, Geolink. And when we talk to a client and we compare the cost of the salary of a qualified profile between Madrid and, for example, Paris, we are extremely good. We are extremely competitive. We can no longer say that Spain is a cheap destination. We don't want to be a cheap destination because we are not. But again, we have decided from a strategic point of view that Madrid region has to be between the best destinations in Europe. We are talking about Paris, London, Frankfurt, Amsterdam. And keep in mind that if we want to compete against these destinations, we are in the position to be as competitive as they are. Besides, also, as Felipe, keep in mind that if you're a Latin American company and you're planning to establish yourself in Europe, keep in mind that if you create a company in Madrid, and Spain, it's the same thing, of course, you're already in the European Union. We are an open market. We are a market, talking about the European Union, of more than 600 consumers, and all you have to do is send your goods to another country. I think that's a good asset. And finally, we have mentioned, we have here in Spain startup law. Keep in mind that we are the second country in Europe that has a startup law and that has entered into force, because one thing is to have a law, and another thing is if this law has entered into force. Just two figures about the Spanish startup law. Normally speaking, the corporate tax is 25%. If you are considered an innovative company in Spain, this corporate tax goes down to 15%. And also, again, talking about talent, we know that startups, although our clients, because we are a public entity, but we talk with clients, they are our clients, they are no longer a startup. For any startup wanted to play in a competitive market against big companies, we think that attracting talent is main, and the main way that startup attract talent is basically through the stock option structures they offer. Again, keep in mind that if, thanks to the Spanish startup law, the fiscal treatment of the stock option is today the best in Europe. So basically, that's what the MIT was for. We are very happy. We really think that this has been useful. As I told you at the beginning, our goal, our executive director is here with us, is to give the companies figures to convince them that Madrid is the best option. But I think that better than me or my team to explain you why Madrid is a great destination, what we've tried to do today is to show you the companies that have taken this decision. So you don't have to believe me if you don't want to, but I would listen. I hope you have listened very well to our 4 clients because, well, they've taken a decision. We really hope they are successful. And from our side, that's the whole thing. I don't know if anybody here would like to ask us something. We have available microphones. Okay, please. I don't know if there is any microphone available. They told me there was one. But if not,
Just
okay.
shouts.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the entire talk. It was very, very useful. I was wondering regarding talent. I might have not understood it correctly, so please correct me if I'm wrong. When I hear the strategy of attracting talent mentioned, it seems very Europe-centric in terms of matching salaries. But when I look at how countries like China and Dubai are tackling this challenge, they're looking at salaries at an international level. And so when they attract talent, they're matching salaries from, comparing to Silicon Valley, et cetera, et cetera. Was my understanding correct that Madrid is looking at this strategy as Europe-centric, or is it looking to match salaries to be competitive at a global level?
Well, I really hope that the Madrid region government could fix salaries. We cannot do that. Basically, I guess that the market fixes the salaries. I don't know what China is doing. I don't know what Emirates are doing. I understood that you're telling us that they are matching the salaries. I don't know what's the goal of matching the salaries. I insist this is an open economy. The salaries are fixed by the companies, by the market, not by the governments. What I was trying to tell you is that if we could compare I'll give you figures. Again, the source is not Diego. This is Eurostat 2022. If you ask me, Diego, what is the average salary cost hour of a qualified profile? Okay, I'm not talking about an engineer, business. If we could say there was an average salary, in Madrid is 22.9 euros per hour. Okay? If you ask me, okay, Diego, the same level for the European Union average, 29. If you ask me, the same level, for example, with France, I would say between 32 to 35. And if you ask me for Germany, it would be almost 40. What we are selling is that, well, first of all, the salaries are fixed by the market, by the companies, but we are a competitive destination. If talent is the main concern for companies, you are going to find talent in Madrid, and the cost of this talent is going to be competitive against our competitive destinations. I don't know if I have replied to your question or no. And if Chinese are trying to fix the salaries, I wish them good luck. That's all I can say.
Diego, also, like we have this, our amazing Becan law, that is very attractive for all of the international people when you are explaining to them that they are going to have a reduction in the taxes. Like, for example, Dubai is tax-free. I love Dubai. I was living there for 6 years, and yes, zero, thank God, but no, here is not zero. But I think, like, for international talent, one of the keys and the things that we are explaining to our people team is like, hey, when we are doing the recruiting, you really need to explain to the candidates all of the benefits that you have when you are coming to Spain. And one of the benefits is the Becan law, for example.
And if I might add something, well, I come from a technical background. So I believe 90% of my former colleagues and people and friends they are nowadays working for foreign companies. So I believe it's, okay, I didn't study this at all, but I believe the market, as Diego rightly said, is already balancing the salaries. It's internationally speaking, I believe, because as I said, as I mentioned, my friends all work for American companies, Chinese companies, and all, and it's starting to balance altogether. It's like it's the market, but it's also the global community that's doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think another important thing, when all of the investors and the companies are doing the exercise to come to Spain or not, they are not only considering the salaries, because here there is a lot of more things. It's the salaries, the social security, it's the taxes, it's a lot of implications, a lot of more than salary. And when I am speaking with the CEOs, it's like, why Madrid, why Spain? It's like, I always tell them, talent is talent. And for very unique roles, if they are in China, in France, in Germany, in Spain, or in North America or Latin, the salary is going to be exactly the same. But of course, you need to consider other factors.